Today, we're talking about something that can completely change the atmosphere of your homeschooling, but it's not the curriculum and it's not a timetable. We're talking about creating your learning ethos at home. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Kate Education. I'm Kate, an education and homeschooling consultant, here to support you on your home education journey, one step at a time. In schools, teachers always begin the year by establishing a classroom ethos. So that's a shared set of values, routines, expectations, and ways of working. And it sets the tone. It helps the children of the class feel secure, and it builds the feeling of belonging in a classroom. And the beautiful thing is this: we can absolutely do the same thing at home. This does not mean recreating school in your living room. It means shaping an environment where your child feels motivated, where they feel respected and secure, and where they feel inspired to learn. So today I'm going to walk you through 8 areas to think about when creating your own homeschooling ethos. Learning space. Let's start with something practical: your learning space. You do not need a dedicated homeschooling room. It could be the kitchen table. It could be a cozy corner, a tray on the sofa. That doesn't matter. What matters most is consistency. Children begin to associate a space with focus and learning. So even something as simple as bringing out a learning basket each morning can signal, now we're shifting into learning mode. Here are some questions for you to consider. Where in your home can you set aside a small but consistent learning space? How will you organize resources so that they're easy to use and to tidy away? What signals will show that you're moving into learning time? Small rituals can create big psychological shifts. Daily rhythm and routine. This is not about having rigid timetables. It's about having a predictable flow. Children thrive when they know what comes next. You might start with a morning check-in, always have a snack after maths, end the day with a read aloud. Even something simple like clearing breakfast, bringing out the learning basket, and sitting in the same spot each morning makes a meaningful ritual, and gentle structure actually creates some freedom. So ask yourself, what natural rhythms already exist in your day? Do your children need more structure or more flexibility? What small daily routine could you do to signal the start of learning? Respect and roles. This is such an important one. When you home educate, you shift between being a parent, a guide, and a teacher, and it can feel a little blurry. So children sometimes need clarity. You might explain that during learning time, I'm going to respond as your teacher. At lunchtime, I'm just mum again. That separation can reduce friction. Also consider discussion habits such as listening without interrupting, taking turns, respecting ideas. Because your learning ethos, it's not just about the academics, it's about how you are treating each other while you're learning. So ask yourself, how do you model respect when your child is learning something new? How do you encourage listening and turn taking? How do you balance being both a parent and a teacher? And remember, this balance takes time to settle. That's completely normal. Attitude to mistakes. A powerful learning ethos treats mistakes as stepping stones. If children fear mistakes, they stop taking risks. But if they see mistakes as part of learning, then the fear of making risks evaporates. When something goes wrong, pause and ask, what did we learn from that? Model it yourself. Oh, I got that wrong. Let's try again. Show that effort matters just as much as outcome. So ask yourself, how do you respond when your child makes a mistake? Are you modeling resilience? How can you reflect constructively instead of emotionally? Your responses to mistakes really can shape your child's confidence. Tools and materials. Your learning ethos also shows up in how you treat materials. Are pencils respected? Are books looked after? Are laptops used correctly? Having systems, even simple ones, builds responsibilities. Maybe everything goes back into the basket at the end of the day. Maybe certain tools are special and treated with extra care. Pencils need to be sharpened. Devices need to be charged. Practical equipment needs to be tidied carefully, ready for next time you use it. If you give your child ownership, it will help to build their independence. So ask yourself, how will you store your materials? Do your children know how to care for shared tools? What responsibilities can they take on? Celebrating success. Success in home education is not grades or school reports. It's making progress. It's showing effort. It's being creative. It's having courage. You might want to think about doing something like a family weekly showcase, or displaying work on a wall, or coming up with a special high five, reflecting on what you're proud of. But also encourage your children to recognize their own growth. Don't just tell them why you're proud of them. Ask them, what are you proud of this week? And this will help to build their own intrinsic motivation. Boundaries between home and school. This one matters more than people realize. When learning happens at home, the lines can blur, so small boundaries can help. Many adults benefit from separating work life from home life, so working on your laptop in your bed does not suit most people. So maybe with your children, you only sit at the table for focused work. You move to the sofa for story time. You pack away materials at a certain time. Physical shifts can create mental shifts. So ask yourself, how will your child know when learning begins and ends? What cues will signal the difference? How do you balance the comfort of the home with the focus of learning? Thinking about this structure can really help protect the joy of your home. Family values in learning. This is one of the most beautiful parts of homeschooling. You get to bring your family values into education. So maybe your learning ethos is going to emphasize kindness or perseverance, curiosity, faith, creativity. Name your values and talk about them with your children. Refer back to them during learning moments. So when your child struggles, you might say, in our family, when things get tough, we persevere. When they help a sibling, you can comment, that's kindness in action. Values become alive when they are spoken. So ask yourself, which values matter the most to you as a family? How can you model them during the learning time? How could you revisit them each week? Final thoughts. Creating your learning ethos isn't about coming up with strict rules. It's about building a shared understanding of how learning feels in your home. So when children sense the shift from home to learning at home, it gives meaning to your process. So having a clear ethos builds confidence, it builds independence, security, and a lasting love of learning, because ultimately a strong learning ethos doesn't just shape your daily lessons. It will shape how your child sees themselves as a learner. And that identity will stay with them beyond homeschooling and beyond childhood. So by nurturing your learning ethos, you are empowering your child's learning, one step at a time. If this video was helpful, I'd love for you to like and subscribe so that more families can find this support. And in the comments, tell me, what value do you most want your homeschooling to reflect? I'll see you in the next video.